Yo, what is up guys, it's Pedro here. So we got some big news on Carson Wentz. He's expected to be out for 6 weeks. So we're going to talk about that in today's video and who is expected to come in and start for him while he's gone. Will it be Taylor Heinicke or Sam Howell? And who should it be? So if you guys are new, make sure to subscribe for Washington and NFL content. So close to 9,000 subscribers, so please help me get there. Also hit that like button and turn on those notifications so you never miss a video. So I'll read the tweet from Ian Rappaport. He said, Commanders quarterback Carson Wentz suffered a fractured finger on his throwing hand in the team's win over the Bears. Per me and Mike Garafolo, he's headed to LA to see a hand specialist to determine the next step. His availability moving forward is up in the air. And later, Grant Paulson and I think JP Finley co-signed this, basically saying, I'll read it right here. The timeline 1067 The Fan has heard on Wentz, who will see another doctor on Monday, is that his recovery could be as much as 6 weeks. They'll know more on Monday. And he says Taylor Heinicke would be the next man up. So, of course with Washington, we get this QB luck where no one can stay healthy for a season, no matter who it is. Ryan Fitzpatrick, who never got hurt really, he was out all of last year. Carson Wentz has had injury issues in the past and is out for likely about 4 to 7 weeks, give or take a couple weeks, So, very likely Taylor Heinicke time, whether we like it or not. He's going to be playing. He is the backup for the Washington Commanders, and I honestly don't mind it. And, I think Wentz is better than Heinicke, but Heinicke at this moment could provide a spark for this team, and I think he should be playing over Howell for now, because, of course, even though it's not likely they make the playoffs, it's very unlikely, but still very early in the season. They've played 6 games. They're 2-4. Maybe Heinicke can provide a spark. And in the 6 games, if Heinicke goes 3-3 or 4-2 somehow, then you're in a really good position. And you can either, when Wentz comes back, and you can either keep Heinicke as a starter or play Wentz. But if he doesn't play well, if he's 1-5, 2-4, whatever, which is likely what's going to be the case, then when Wentz comes back, you can either put Wentz back or put Howell in. So there's 2 different scenarios right there for you. I'm trying to read some other tweets. But, Carson Wentz is tough. He is tough. He had a biceps injury, broken finger or fractured finger. He had a, hurt ankle, and he's still able to pancake or just a great block on Roquan Smith to help Brian Robinson get a few extra yards. He's tough. He's handled everything here really, really well. Unfortunately, he got those injuries. He probably would play through them if he could. But Heinicke probably would be better than a hurt Carson Wentz. And Heinicke is a good backup. He knows the system. He's really close. His teammates love him. And, he can play well at times. Like, over a 2 to 3 week stretch, he's played really good football before for the Commanders last year, or at least for the Washington football team last year. He played some good games for the for the Washington football team last year. For like 2 to 3 weeks, and then he went, back to not playing well. So, we'll get those stretches with Heinicke. I'll probably be pretty excited to watch him his first couple weeks, and then after that, I'm probably gonna be like, man, why was I excited to see this? Man, this is not good. And then maybe we'll get some moments in there when I'm like, okay, I love this. But Heinicke, we know what we're getting. He doesn't have great arm strength. He's going to be able to avoid some sacks, but sometimes he does the same thing with Wentz where he'll avoid the sack and then he'll take it anyway. Sometimes some boneheaded plays, but he runs around, able to buy time, and, sometimes he just has a way to get it to Terry or whoever. So I think Terry, I think fantasy owners for Terry have been really frustrated lately. Well, I think Heinicke throws a little bit more to Terry than Wentz does, so I think maybe if you have him, maybe you can start Terry the next couple weeks. It's a long week for the Commanders. They got 8 days from today until their next game, so a little bit more time for Wentz to recover, but also at the same time, he's not meeting that doctor until Monday, so it is what it is. And then I think obviously this injury news sucks for Wentz, but I think this helps the Commanders avoid their worst case scenario, which would have been winning 6-7 games, getting a terrible draft picks, anywhere from 8th to 14th, and not being able to get a QB, and then also giving up your second round pick, which is a top pick as well. So, because if Wentz plays 70% plus of the snaps, then we give him a second-round pick. If not, we give him a third, the Colts. So with him being out for 6 games, if he misses 6 games, if he only plays 11 out of 17, that's about 64% of the snaps. So if it's 6 weeks, we should be good. If it's like 4 or 5 weeks, I would play once when he's back, and then the last few weeks of the season, when it's officially over, then you play Howell, see what you get in Howell. I think right now, it's better to play Heinicke just because Howell is still super, super raw, and, he hasn't got many practice reps. Now, he's going to be the backup. So, he's going to have to know the offense a lot better as a backup. And he's probably going to get some more, a few more reps in practice. If he even had reps before, he's going to get reps now. And that'll help a little bit in his development. Not much, but maybe 5 to 15%. Knowing the offense a little bit more, getting a little bit more involved with the teammates in, game planning and actual reps. So, that'll help him out a little bit. And the offensive line, I feel like, is going to get a little bit more healthier in, let's say, 4 to 8 weeks. Maybe Cosme will come back in a few weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. And same thing with some other guys in the offensive line. Maybe we'll gel a little bit more in the next few weeks. I thought they played better this past week. And maybe when Cosme comes back, you put Cosme at right guard and keep Lucas at right tackle. And then keep Larson at center, and then Norwell and Leno as your left guard and left tackle. I think that could work. So, again, not good news, obviously, but it helps them avoid their worst case scenario. So, play Heinicke, see how he does. If the season's lost, that's when you play Howell. See what you have in Howell. I don't think he's a franchise QB. Who knows? Maybe he is, but you can see what you have in him. Maybe he plays well, and you're like, okay, this guy can be a backup or maybe a low-tier starter, and you keep him, and maybe that means you don't have to keep Heinicke. And if he looks bad, well, you're drafting the quarterback anyways. Even if he looks good, if the team's bad, they're still going to draft a QB no matter what, in my opinion. Some tweets right here from JP. Let's see. He said, watching Wentz Thursday night after his hands got hit, it was clear it wasn't right. I thought there was a chance he would pull him. Now seeing a specialist, good timing with the mini bye. We talked about the 70% thing. It would be kind of wild if Heinicke gets another shot at Green Bay. He played well, blah, 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 blah. Should Carson Wentz miss any time? I think they go with Heinicke. For now, if the season continues to slide away, at some point they need to see what rookie Sam Howell's got in the regular season. He flashed in the preseason. And JP Finley said, checked in with a team source, Heinicke is firmly entrenched as the backup. So we'll see Heinicke until he either gets hurt or it's Wentz time or Howell time, I guess. And I think that, Howell's going to be active on game day. So again, his development's going to be a little bit better now as a backup versus the third string. Like, he's going to have to truly, truly prepare to play. So, not great news on a Saturday, but it is what it is with Commanders land. We know what we're getting ourselves into when we choose to be fans of this team or we're born into it. Injuries like this, quarterback injuries, always happen. I just don't think this is going to have a huge impact on the season because Wentz hasn't played great, and I think Heinicke can come in and play okay or good for you for a couple weeks, and then obviously after that, not so much. Like, he doesn't have the great arm strength, we know that, but he's able to avoid sacks, keep the play going a little bit more, maybe give it to Terry, to Jahan, to Curtis. But yeah, we know the arm strength isn't there. So that's it for today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe if you guys are new, and peace.